Well, it's Tuesday, the 11th of October. We race in Gqeberha, where we race on the poly track at Fairview. Previewing the show with Sheldon Peters. Sheldon, looking forward to this 8-race card.
Yes, Dees, thanks very much. Looking forward to the show and all the viewers out there, as always, trying to find some value and some winners. Each and every meeting, New Horizons.
New Horizons, let's see how we go here. And Port Elizabeth, 12:30, the start of the bipod, 1,600 meters the distance. In the first race, I think a race between two, I like Graphene Aerogel. I know you like Lily of Orange.
Yes, between the two runners, Graphene Aerogel and Lily of Orange. In the defense of Graphene Aerogel, she's a horse who likes to race up handy, whereas Lily of Orange has developed that bad habit of being slow into stride. So Graphene Aerogel from a 5 draw might end up being the right horse in the race. She'll be up there with the speed, the 1,600 meters on the poly, 4 runs for 3 seconds. Goes to Port Elizabeth, probably the horse to beat. Lily of Orange has the ability, but definitely just needs to come out on terms. We'll be doing the best work later on. So I think numbers 1 and 2, the winner will come from there. But Dee's looking at the betting on the first timer, number 8. Marmalata, 12-1 down 6-1. That could be quite interesting.
Yeah, thanks to Hollywoodbets for that. They always keep us updated with betting moves, and this is only the betting mover for the meeting on Tuesday at time of recording. Agree, Graphene Aerogel versus Lily of Orange in race number 1. Graphene Aerogel could make a winning debut in Gqeberha and has been on the poly track that's been in KZN, and you heard it from Sheldon. Lily of Orange a must in the bipod. Let's move along to race number 2, which is the start of the place accumulator. It's over 1,600 meters. Had a discussion off air with Sheldon, and we both very strong on Heathcliff being a banker in All Best. The first run in the province was an excellent effort.
Very, very good run. Went second to Interview on that occasion. And when you look at the prior runs, ran in open company, a 68 handicap, went third behind Arctic Ice, and then ran in a 70 handicap where the average rating was a 72. And although back in 8th position, was only 3.5 lengths behind them. Richard Ferree rides 1,600 meters. I think this is Heathcliff's race to lose. If he gets beat, I'll be disappointed.
I agree. Hey Siri coming through to frank that form. For the guys out there that are looking for trifectas and quartets, I've picked out numbers 2 and 6. Anything else you like?
I think number 9, Global Gunner. If you throw number 9, Global Gunner in, if you look at that last run behind Indy View, this runner carries now 52 kilograms. So there's a big swing in the weight, so it could get a lot closer to Heathcliff, but I think he might just be second best on the day.
Banker, number 1, Heathcliff, 2, 6 and 9 for the minor positions. On to race number 3. I really like a little horse here, Sheldon. I'm hoping that you can agree. Her name is Franca. On the poly track, she's done exceptionally well. Just have a look at her record, a 4-time winner on the poly track over the distance, a 3-time winner. And she's won on the poly track twice over 1,000, once over 1,300 meters. She's yet to win over 1,200 where she's won those races on the turf. But I think against this type of field, whilst there is lots of form to work around, I'm willing to take a chance in the PA and bank her.
I'll be with you. I think she's a definite place accumulator banker. Once again, we're leaning with Richard Ferree. And when you look at her overall form, as you mentioned, 6 runs on the poly for the 4 wins, a 2nd and a 4th placing. And distance-wise, 6 runs for 3 wins. So also that you have to be quite bullish going into this race with.
Yeah, I think I can tell you that whilst it says she hasn't won on the poly in Gqeberha, she has won on the poly over 1,200 in KZN. This is Franca. Okay, of the balance of the runners, can you just give me 2 runners for the guys to include in the pick 6? I'm going to go with number 5 as a big roughie here. Kiss of Life.
Kiss of Life I'll throw in, and then I'll throw number 1 From Year to Eternity, coming back from an 82-day absence. And let's just have a look. Drawn midfield. So this will be a run to teach us a lot more about exactly where this individual's going.
Franca could be a pick 6 banker as well. We move along to race number 4. This is over 1,200 meters. It's a merit-rated 80 handicap and a very difficult race. I did find a roving banker here, Sheldon, and I don't know if you would agree, but this horse called Narcos, I think Montana Turner must be complimented the way she's got this individual going, and the form lines have held up as well. Solid form.
Very solid form. The last victory just beat that horse on the line. That horse, Kaya's Hope, managed to fend them off in a driving finish. And this is the type of horse that you want to see go back to back. The guts and courage that Narco showed last time out. I think a horse, if you look at the last 5 or 6 runs, has been right there. If not in the winner's box, has been right there. And absolutely enjoys the distance, a 50% win strike rate over the distance. And when you're looking larger than that, a horse like number 5, Jet Mirage, who was well beaten behind Narcos last time out, and maybe even number 1, Vista Nova for the quartets.
And if you're looking for 2 more for the pick 6, my vote goes to 7, Duke of Orange, and 10, Tuk Tuk. We move along to race number 5. It's over 1,300 meters, a 75 fillies and mares handicap. Yeah, this race, I think everything points to one horse. I know that the horse needs a lot to go her way, just the way she races. Her name is Ancestral Prayer. She leaves a lot to do at the business end of the race, but hopefully this time around, being better drawn in a smaller field, she'll have not as much to do when they go into the final 400 meters or so.
Well, when you look at the jockey engagement again, once again, Richard Fourie.
He's got some plum mounts.
We're looking like a Zach Purden day. We're looking for Richard Fourie to come to the fore. How's that? Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I mean, that was something to watch. I actually watched some of it towards the latter end with you here in the studio on Sunday. But yeah, Richard's got some good mounts.
Got some very decent mounts on the card. And looking at number 3, Ancestral Prayer is currently trading at 18-10. They're then betting 5-1 bar Ancestral Prayer. If you're looking to include one other horse, I think number 2, Right Choice. This is for the Gavin Smith stable. The only concern for me is the first run on the Polly at around 7-1. I think a horse for the trifectas and the exactas, D's.
If you're not in the camp of number 3, Ancestral Prayer, my suggestion, go as wide as possible. On to race number 6. Now here, Great Guy is possibly a roving banker for me. I can't give you any confidence, but Muzi Yeni, he has a lot of success when he travels down to Gqeberha, 54.5 kgs. The way this individual's going, number 10, Great Guy. A roving banker for me. The other runner that I like for the place accumulator, I'm just going to include 2, is number 11, Gore Ruler.
I think you could be on the right path there. Getting on to Great Guy. He is a 2-time winner, which both victories have been achieved on the Polly. One of those course and distance. And look at that last run when running 4th. They reported lame left hind and still managed to run such an admirable race. This is a horse who gets a draw. Looking at the last run, of course, that was down the straight, was drawn on the outside there. But Great Guy, remember in KwaZulu-Natal, was a horse who they thought quite a bit of. And in this type of field, from that number 1 draw, number 10, Great Guy is going to be a big, big runner. And if you're looking for one of the lurkers in the pack, maybe number 9, Jaguar Cat. 2.45 lengths behind them last time out, but Dees does have a bit of a wild draw to contend with.
Just like the horse that they priced up as the top one, you know, this horse Surya Varman, number 5, drawn 13 out of 13 and priced up as the 33-10 favorite, having his first run out the maidens. I think a lot of work to do. They're highly competitive. On to race number 7, and here, you know, whilst Caden Liner Minnesota is up in class, with just 52 kgs on his back. He's been off for a short break. I can't see him missing out of the top 3. I know that he had a big reputation earlier on in his career. He was a high merit rating. He dropped down when he came to KZN. But I still think that he's off a good mark in Port Elizabeth. 72, I still think. 52 kgs. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't miss the top 3.
Well, if you look at his merit rating, he's 30 points off his highest merit rating achieved. And as you mentioned earlier on, they thought very, very highly of him. Let's have a look. Drawn 5, JP van der Merwe. There's a lot to like about his form. I mean, after winning, he ran 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th again. Everything in his favour. He's coming back from a slight break. He's been off the track for 60 days. So number 10, Kame Lime Soda. That'll be the horse they all have to beat. And then when you start to look for the opposition,
tough.
Very, very tough. What about this horse number 1, Master Supreme? He achieved 100 at the height of his career, but he's just totally gone off form.
50-1.
50-1. Quartet chance.
Boom, bang. This is the horse that you need. If you're looking for a big rocket, I mean, number 1, Master Supreme gets my vote. Other runners to consider, this in numerical order: 2, Barak. I think 3, Winds of Fire. 4 Jacob's Ladder, 6 Assured, even a horse like number 10 Gavel Strike. So it looks wide open, but we all in here with Kane Lime and Soda as a banker in the PA. On to the lucky last now, and here it where, you know, if you're running, I don't know what you're going to be doing here, but I've picked out 2 numbers for the PA. Maybe these 2 numbers could suffice. 7 Masters Queen and 8 Flinders Range.
Well, looking at the betting here, they're betting 9 to 2 the field. Number 2, Young Nelson, and 5 Ideal Time on 9 to 2. 11 to 2, number 4, Mrs. Hotline. 7 Masters Queen is 11 to 2. Humble Tune 7 to 1. Jaspero 7 to 1. And you can pretty much pick your price, the rest of them. So I think the 2 runners that you've picked out are definite horses that you're going to have a little chat on. Number 9, Secret Link, who is currently trading at 10 to 1. The only concern, once again, is the poly. 3 runs on the poly, yet to place, but I think it's come down to a competitive mark. So we're looking for a few roughies to run into the quartets and the trifectas on the day.
I think so. 7, 8, and 9 that we chatted about. If you include one more in the place accumulator, Humble Tune, that was a fair introduction, having his first run in Kabeja, so I think we'll come on with that run as well. Very difficult race to close it off, but let's go to the short list now. I think we'll begin with mine and see what I've gone with place accumulator wise. Well, it's quite simple, isn't it? I've gone with 4 place accumulator bankers. I thought it was 3. Well, they've added one more for me. Race number 2, Heathcliff, a place accumulator banker. In the 3rd, Franca. Race number 5, Ancestral Player, hopefully can get it right this time round. And then Kane Lime Soda with that bottom weight as well. 4 place accumulator bankers for me, Sheldon, and I'm hoping it goes according to plan.
Well, I hope for you and the viewers that quartet of bankers comes home as we move on to my short list, and it's a very short list. Race 2, number 1, Heathcliff. We both in agreement that this is going to be a very, very tough horse to beat on the day. He has raced in open company in the past, so I think he'll be pretty tough to beat. And then looking at bipod bankers, race 1, number 2, Lily of Orange. I'm just hoping that she can jump on terms. And when she jumps on terms, it looks to be a 2-horse race at this stage of the game. And then race 2, number 1, Heathcliff. As we mentioned, this is probably one of the better bets on the day. So that's a look at Dee's shortlist and my shortlist for the meeting out at Fairview on the poly track. Have a top day's racing.